Hey, what's up? Day 2. It's about 5 o'clock. I went out with my father, got some breakfast, we went to see a movie, did a few things, went some shopping. Exciting, right? Anyway, we got back and we have about an hour to an hour and a half before dinner. He's going to go for a walk in the park, which I would normally join him for, but I'm going to take this opportunity to get some work done on my 100 days of making comics for my independent kaiju comic, The Horror A4. I'm going to do that now so I don't have to worry about it later. So, off I go then! Let's try a little speed thumbnail thing. Go-Go's.
Look how fast I go. I wish this was my normal speed. I'm actually, for those that care, I'm drawing on, this is just regular white copier paper folded in half, 8.5 by 11 folded in half, and I'm using, it's not a Bic brand, but it's a ballpoint pen, which actually I really like to use for sketching, not that I consider this sketching. As I was working on this exact page, I'm doing the interior of Boots' uncle's house, which is something I have not designed. And the earlier pages were a library type place, which I had not designed. So as much as I talk about having everything designed, I don't.
And that's thumbnails for 11. 12! Just FYI, I have the script on the screen up there that I'm referring to as I'm doing this. You just can't see it.
And back to speed mode. So yeah, I also, sometimes there's pauses which are not as evident in this fast mode. I'm playing this at 16 times speed to give you an idea. So if you see any pause at all, that's probably like a minute or two because I'm looking at the script, readjusting, taking what I had in one panel where there's like 5 pieces of dialogue and 2 different emotions being conveyed, and I'm breaking it into 2 panels or, you know, doing my best to make it fit.
There's page 12 done. This all is a mess, but this specifically. Fix it?
And my final speed page. I actually did 2 more after this, but I didn't want to bore you with too much scribble, scrabble, doodly dukes. That's what these are, doodly dukes. Wookie doo. I'm just gibberishing. I was happy with that third panel there, which is an upshot of Boots looking up to jets. And I also liked that I did a big splash on this page. I feel like I don't do enough splashes for all the action I have.
And that's 13 done. Thumbnails, anyway. Hi, yes, once again, it's me, Gazbot, with day 2 of 100 Days Making Cosmics. Cosmics? Yes, I'm making cosmics. They're comic books so good you sell them in outer space! Cosmically! No, they're just comics. But my comic, The Horror A4, an independent kaiju comic. First issue available. Look below. I'm working on issue 2, and I'm cranking away. As I've said before, this month is crazy for me. My father's in town. I just did an hour. Double what I need to do. 1 hour. I would like to be doing 4 hours, 12 hours, a million hours, but I did an hour thumbnailing again in my layout book. First couple pages of which are on the hotel paper, but I'm getting more of these done. So yeah, I got a good amount of work done, and it's funny when I'm doing these layouts, most of these ones actually I didn't have to expand the pages. The first couple, as I had said yesterday, I actually added 2 pages to the book. Now I'm done up to page, I believe, 15? I don't even know. 15. I'm done up to page 15. So as of now, there's 27, 12. Math, numbers. Okay. So I'm up to 15 in these thumbnail layouts. I have 17 more to go. 17 again. 12. Whatever. The point is, I didn't have to add any more pages, which is good. Some of these layouts, I'm like, wow, this is going to look great. Some I'm like, this is going to be awkward. I'll have to fix it later. But again, I'm trying not to get too bogged down. I'm trying to get through the whole thing. I'm trying to stick to a production line process, which I learned worked for me on the last issue, and I'm trying to commit to it even more this time. So while I want to go back and kind of retool a few things, and maybe, let me see if I can make that panel work. No, it's just thumbnails. So I'm going to plow through, get all the thumbnails done. Once I'm done, the next step is I'm going to do still thumbnails, but they'll be, well, I guess layouts would be a better way of calling it, because they'll be bigger. I'll probably put them in the computer and play around and move them around and see if everything will fit. And then at that point, that'll be a whole nother stage. But I'm more than halfway done with this stage. One thing that worries me is for the next 2 weeks or so, or a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever, I will be home. I'll be busy, but I'll be home. Then I'm going to go away to Chicago for 5 days, I think. I'm confident I could find a half hour to put into the horror, but I don't know what I'm going to have that's analog, because I'm not going to be able to bring a wake home my computer and all that stuff. I'm also worried about uploading videos. It might not be polished. It might not have the theme song. It might just be like, here's day 12, here's what I did, goodbye, you know, which is what I'll do, but I'm going to do it. I'm committed to doing it, but the Chicago episodes are going to be a little weird, but that's a week and a half away. We're talking about right now. Here's something else worth mentioning. I do have a Patreon. I don't really push it that hard because I mostly just copy stuff from my YouTube. I don't do a lot of Patreon-only sort of content? Yes, content. I do allow that people there can vote on certain things, but I haven't had enough people follow me there to even make it worth having a vote or anything. I have so far put up 2 exclusive videos. One way back in the beginning, just a character design that I haven't shown anywhere else. To this day, it's funny because the character doesn't show up in issue 1. And the other thing is something I put up just recently. Kickstarter backers got it, and so did my Patreons, which was me doing a dramatic reading, dramatic in heavy air quotes because it's mostly hilarious, I think, of the first issue. So if either of those things interest you, only way to see them is to be a Patreon or a Kickstarter backer in the past. That's a little commercial for me. So, like I said, I'm going to keep this one short. Check out other people doing League 100s right now. I don't have a list in front of me. I know Yannemal's doing it. I know Mike Emeritz is doing it. H.C. Brown is doing it. Others. There is a list that I literally have on my phone, which I'm recording with, so I can't do it. But people, good people, I assume, doing comics. That's what they're doing. Do I have a tip for the day? No. One of the downsides of the process I'm working on right now is I usually like to catch up on other people's videos, like League 100s and things like that, while I'm working. It's, you know, it helps me multitask. I like to follow other people, both to support them and because I find interesting tips and tidbits and entertainment myself. But when I'm writing or when I'm translating writing to thumbnails, I can have music on, but I can't really follow anything with words and stuff. I can when I'm, you know, penciling and inking and coloring and all that stuff, but sort of at the very beginning and at the end when I'm doing lettering, which I sometimes do, or at least temporary lettering, I have a hard time too because I'm reading and thinking a bit more. So right now I need you to watch those videos for me, and I'll catch up later. But that's going to be it for today. Day 2 from me, Gazbot. Not in Japan, in America. I was going to say Gazbot in Japan, which is weird because I haven't even done one of those videos in a while. I owe a few. I'm going to have some toy videos coming up because I owe them to Collection DX. So there will be a review of a Alien Power Loader sometime in the next 2 weeks. I would like to say, because it's earlier in the day, later on I'll get some more work done on the horror. No, I will get more work done, but I'll be working on that video. I'll be working on other things that I need to get done for the show that's coming up. Things that are not the horror, which is why I did 100 days of making comics. Because I had social things in the day. I'm going to be up all night working on other stuff. Boom. And I don't even have any client work right now. I think I might have 0 client work, with the exception of some caricature jobs live coming up. I'm in a rare case where I've actually caught up on anything. I have nothing, you know, in the pipeline. So I theoretically have all this time, but I don't. So once again, what are we doing? 100 days of making comics, 30 minutes at least a day, working on your own personal comic, no excuses. Being sick doesn't count. Having people in from out of town doesn't count. You going out of town doesn't count. Having a bad day doesn't count. None of that counts unless you don't want to be hardcore. I want to be hardcore. Every time I say that, that music plays. I don't know what that's about. Let's try it again. Hardcore? Weird. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Oh, today's day 2. Wait, if today's day 2, oh, that means there are 98 days left, right, Donatello? He's not real.